So morning lovelies, and just getting comfortable on your mat. Choose where you want to be, seated or lying down. And just check in with how you're feeling. How your energies feel as well as your emotions. Yoga is so much more than just bending into shapes. We have this wonderful ability for the hour together to become conscious of the unconscious mind, which usually is on autopilot for the rest of our day. We think the same things most days, we feel the same things most days, and it's a constant cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking, and sometimes it's nice just to have that space to change it up a bit. Maybe take a different route to somewhere you're going. Be open consciously to experiencing a different street or row of trees. And consciously think about a few different things that you can do today. When we first get up, we maybe turn the alarm clock off with the same finger. We have the same routine as we get washed and dressed in the morning. And we're on autopilot. We don't have to think. So just having this space on the mat where we can consciously think and bring that into the rest of your day. Tuning into your breath is a beautiful way of becoming quite conscious of the now and in the moment. Because in this moment is the only place we can ever really shift our thoughts. So ground down. Just have a very quick scan through your chakras from root to top, up to the crown. And choose how you're going to feel for the rest of your day. Set the intention already before you have that cause and effect feeling, which is kind of old Newtonian way of thinking. Come into the kind of the quantum field of thinking, which is set the intention and let the rest of the day play out. So if you're seated, just come off cushions, come onto the mat into a lying position, and we'll start our stretches. So when you're ready, I know we do this often, let's take the left arm up first. Inhale, left arm. And then flexing into that left foot. And just noticing how different that feels, even though we do this all the time. How strange it feels perhaps to do the other side of the body first. And then pointing the toes, lovely stretch over the left foot. Stretching into the left arm and hand. And then exhale, arm down. Just noticing how that feels. And then on the next inhale, right arm up and over. And flexing foot. Lovely stretch here. How does it feel in your calf muscle? Stretch through the waist, around the ribs, up to the fingertips. And then pointing toes. And then on the exhale, just allowing the arm to relax down. Just swapping those two sides allows the brain to rewire. 2 seconds. Just letting Lynn in. Sorry, lovelies. And then when you're ready on the next inhale, both arms up and over. We know this. And then just flex and point the toes, enjoying how this feels through your body. How much longer can you make your body? Exhale on the arms, coming down. Have a moment, just palms up in Shavasana. Conscious of how you're feeling. Drawing right knee in. The reason we do the right knee is because it is the way the large intestine flows around the body. So take a lovely deep inhale and then exhale as you come up. Holding the breath out for a moment and then inhaling down. Other side, left side now. Deep breath. Exhale up. Holding the breath out. Inhale, coming down. And then both knees, taking a lovely deep inhale of prana, of chi into our body. And then as we exhale, coming up. And imagining all stagnant air that we've kind of left in our lungs coming out as well. Inhale down when you're ready. Gently rock. Enjoy how you're noticing your back. All the muscles through your back. As you move, do you feel any kind of achiness, twinges? Just being aware. Okay, and then we'll take the hands and feet up into the air and work through the warm-up in this way. So fingers stretched, toes stretched, and then making fists, curling toes, and then thumbs in and thumbs out. Just alternate. And then flexing wrists and ankles backwards and forwards. Take a moment to pause as well. It feels really lovely just to observe that held stretch. And then rotating. Are your hands more coordinated than your feet or vice versa? Little observations. Lovely. And then just lower the hands down, keep the legs raised, and we'll cycle. Have a gentle engagement on the belly just to support the lower back. And then the other way. Enjoy the deep breaths here as well. And then hugging knees in for a moment. As you hug the knees in, you can just release the belly, soften through the back for a moment. And then put the left foot down or the left leg down, and then big circles with the right leg. Happy hips today. A lot of emotion can get held in our hips and the pelvic area as well, or it links with our sacral energy. So even if we can't express emotion, we can swap legs now. We can move it through the body. Left leg up now. And just a few times in both directions. Enjoy a nice long out breath now and then. And then knees in. Just have another little rock. Enjoy what you feel. And then swinging up to seated. We'll take this time together to really feel grateful for our bodies today. When we're feeling grateful and when we're feeling in that state of thankfulness, we encourage even more of it. So when we're thankful and for a healthy, well body, that everything's functioning optimally, it encourages the universe to give that back to us. We're sending out thanks because we have received. So fingers into Chin Mudra. And let's just do upper body. Close the eyelids down just softly. Take a moment to re-ground through your tailbone. And then when you're ready, chin down. Pausing here a moment, how heavy does your head feel today? Is it really creating a stretch and some sensation there? Loosen your shoulders gently. And then chin up. And then down again. Being present of breath, mind and body. Once more up. Witnessing your thoughts as you do this. And then coming back to centre. Tilt the head left to start with. We often always go right. And now over to the right. Just silly little things like that can just allow the brain to rewire in a different way. Same again each side. And then coming back to centre, let's look over the left shoulder first. And then sweep right. It feels odd, doesn't it, if you agree with me? Very subtle difference, but just feels quite strange, like we're going away from the usual. And then coming back to centre. Take the chin down, and whatever way you normally go with your head, go in the other way. Full rotation round. The neurons that fire together, wire together. So just creating new neural pathways with very simple changes. Coming back to centre. And then just hands on shoulders and rotating round. Again, I always go forward first with my arms and then I kind of rotate the other way. Body is so conditioned to doing the same things. We're like little computer programs. Set on go. Lovely. And just release. We're going to ball the fists up and 3 times lift the shoulders and just have a lovely kind of roar out and release whatever emotion that we're holding in our shoulders. Deep breath in. And again. And once more. It feels good. By the third one, it really feels like you've released something there. Okay, coming off cushions. Onto hands and knees. To start with another little warm-up on the spine. Cat-cow. We'll do it where we start at one end. Start at your tailbone. So hands under shoulders, knees are under the hips. And as we exhale, we'll turn the tailbone under. We'll start to move into our lumbar vertebrae. Come up into thoracic. And then as we drop our head. And then as we breathe in, turning that tailbone up and just moving the vertebrae as we move up the spine and we lift the head. So still same movement through the body, just in a different way. I find it in some ways a more conscious way. Like a wave that rolls up the beach. We can just wave into our body. Enjoying this movement, noticing where you feel it most. Whether you can really dip into the lower back or whether it's a bit tender today. And then just coming back when you're ready into neutral spine. Just rest back, Hasta take the knees wide, drop the head down really low, bringing the chest really close to the mat. Lovely stretch out with your arms. I like to creep the fingers forward so the elbows are lifted off the mat and you can really feel the shoulder blades being pulled away from your spine. And lovely long stretch through the spine all the way to the tailbone as well. Just relax the hands for a moment and then we're going to take the left arm underneath the right. Come into a little twist into our upper body. A few deep breaths here. And then swap sides. Right arm threads underneath the left. Get a lovely stretch through the upper part of our back here. And also around the shoulder as well, it feels good. Gently coming back and arms extended out in front of you. Just bring the arms over to your right hand side so the arms are parallel and we can feel that stretch in the left side of our waist. Take some deep breaths here and really feel where the breath moves in the lungs. And then come through centre and we'll go over to the left.
Just bring the head down to the mat. Noticing the difference each side. Lovely. And coming back to centre. Just draw the hands back up. We'll turn the toes under, get a stretch through the feet. Turn the fingers as well towards the toes. It's always lovely to add in other stretches in same positions. Not too much of a deep stretch through the arms, just a little sensation that you can feel on the inside of the elbows and through the wrists. Lovely. Okay, release that. Rotate your hands if you need to, and we'll come to standing. So I'd like to begin with tree pose. How balanced do we feel on this beautiful morning? It's funny how we often give a lot of influence to our external environment. When the sun's out, we often become more happy, but actually, should that be the case? We can actually find internal happiness regardless of the chaos or our circumstances. So let's come into Tadasana. Have a moment just to ground energies deep into Mother Earth. And then when you're ready, weight into the right leg, lift the left foot, wherever you're comfortable. If you're feeling really wobbly today, I often say to people, just bring the heel to ankle and play with lifting the feet up. But wherever you're comfortable today, wherever you're going to feel the most steady and balanced, gazing at Drishti. Drawing your awareness to your breath. And just becoming as still as you can be in mind and body. Lovely. And release. Give that leg a shake if you need to. Get some movement through. And then other side, left side, same again. Wherever you want to bring your foot, wherever you feel most sort of safe and comfortable. Don't worry if you have to do a lot of adjustment on the foot. Trees do sway in the wind. Gazing at Drishti. Notice if your breath is really tight. Lovely. And release. And just notice how that felt without any judgment. Feet hip distance apart, and we're just going to take the body forward again, just warming up our spine as we come into some sequences. Inhale and exhale. And allow yourself just to dangle. Enjoy this feeling. Like a rag doll. Bend into the knees generously if you need to, and just let your spine lengthen. When we come into this shape, it allows gravity that is always compressing our spine to just release. Take a few deep breaths. Notice the back ribs expand. And then just enjoy rolling up, stacking your spine. Nice healthy vertebrae, spongy cartilage. Seeing it all beautiful and healthy inside. Okay, we'll do sun salutation and moon salutation, one after the other. Get our bodies moving a little bit. Honour the sun that's come out to grace us today. So hands to heart centre, top of the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale. Arms down. Inhale up. And we'll flow through this quite nicely today. Lifting up, looking ahead. Hands to mat and right foot back. Just take a moment in this pose. Just enjoy a couple of breaths in this stretch. Notice how it feels in your hip flexors. And then down dog. Grounding hands, lifting tailbone, deep breath in. Exhale down, all the way back. Inhale to cobra or sphinx. Whatever feels right in your body today. Up to down dog. Still being aware of grounding hands and finger bases. And then left foot forwards, gazing up to your sun. Feet together and sweeping up. Take a breath. And then other side, deep breath in. Exhale. Feel your heartbeat going just a little bit more now. Coming down, looking ahead of you. Left leg comes back. Again, just a quick pause here. Really enjoy this pose and stretch. Down dog. Inhale and exhale down. Inhale through to Bhujangasana, Cobra. Down dog, feeling the strength in your arms as you move through. Right foot forwards, gazing up. And feet together, lifting up. Feels good. Just take a breath. Everyone's going to feel different energy levels. And then we'll come in to do moon salutation. Let's take it slightly slower and just flow through it, like we're moving through water. So a lovely deep inhale. Exhale. Arms up. Fold forwards. And looking ahead of you. Right leg back. Coming down and then raising arms into this crescent. Down dog. Back. And down. Flow into cobra. Flow up to down dog. Left foot forwards. Crescent lunge. Feet together. Sweeping up. Just take a breath. We'll all come together at the same time, and then we'll take another breath. And arms down, other side, and then we'll lie down. Folding forwards. Looking ahead. Left leg comes back. And sinking into crescent lunge. Hands float down, down dog. Down, back. Into cobra. Down dog. Right foot forwards. Crescent. Feet together. Salute the moon. Hopefully that's brought a big smile to your face. Your heartbeat's raised a little. The flesh on your face is slightly pink. Take yourself down to the mat. Consciousness in this moment. Notice how you feel now. Notice when you were doing your salutations, whether you were thinking about anything else, the future or the past, or whether you were just really present in the moment with your breath, the movement of your body, the thoughts associated with what you were doing there and then. Yoga can really, really bring you into the present. So close the eyes, just relax the shoulders, tune into how you're feeling through your back, hips, knees, through the neck. And just notice the breath slowing down a little.
Perhaps repeating the affirmation in your mind, I am well. All is well. And then we'll draw knees in. Right one, then left one. Enjoy a rock. Rock your body, nurture your body. So we'll come up to standing. Move through Trikonasana and warriors. So begin sideways on your mat, feet about a leg length. Outside edges of the feet are nice and parallel rather than toes out on an angle. And then lift the energy through the soles of your feet up through your body. Activate your biceps and then hands to hips. Lovely length to your spine. Turning in the toes of left foot, out the toes of right. Swinging the hips back round and then coming into Trikonasana as we lengthen through that right arm. Coming down, opening up that left shoulder and arm up. How do you feel in this pose today? What do you notice the most? Stretch over the hip and side of the waist. Don't hold your breath. Really just enjoy the breath flowing easily. Okay. And then we're going to come into reverse Trikonasana. I'm just going to come forward a little bit. And this is where we take the left arm down and very gently we twist the body and we raise the right arm up. This might be difficult sometimes, but just try this pose. And then we'll come back into Trikonasana and coming up. Warrior two. So just a bit more space between the feet, bending into that right knee. And coming into this lovely solid pose here. Okay, Parsvakonasana. And then reverse warrior, where we bring the palm to the back thigh, raising that arm up. And then let's come into warrior one. So just twisting that left hip forward and both arms raised. Okay, back to warrior two. Forward facing feet. Take the elbows. Deep inhale, exhale, come forward. Have a moment just to dangle here. I like to hold on to the elbows because I feel like I can kind of pull the arms away. It feels nice through the upper back. So just doing the same if that feels right. Bring the hands down to the mat. We're going to walk the hands forward. Just to the point where the heels want to come up. Like a down dog, wide-legged. Lovely stretch through the backs of your legs here. And you probably feel that little bit on the inside of the legs too. So just walk the hands back. Heel toe the feet into centre. And before we come up, we'll come up in chair. So I'm going to turn sideways. Engage your abdominal muscles. Pelvic diaphragm, come up. Just hold chair for a moment. And then lift up. Release the arms. Okay, coming back into the beginning stance, ready for triangle pose to the left. Again, lift up all that lovely energy. Biceps, hands to heart, hips, sorry. So used to saying hands to heart. So right toes in, left toes out. Hips round and then Trikonasana to your left. Noticing any slight differences and really adapting the body if you need to. Deep breaths. Don't hold the breath. Okay. And then we're going to come into reverse triangle. So bring that right arm down and just come and twist into this shape and left arm up. Come back round into Trikonasana. And then coming up. Warrior two. Sink into this. Let's feel it. Let's feel it in the legs and the thighs for a moment. If that back leg feels a little bit wobbly, just become a little bit more solid in it. Pass back and side lunge. And enjoy that stretch from your back heel to fingertips up the top. Coming up into reverse warrior. And then back to warrior two. Rotate that right hip forwards into warrior one. Breathing easily, warrior two. And then forward facing feet. Let's take the elbows, come up, and we'll do pendulum. So bring the arms up, turn to your right, swing down, swing over to the left, come up, and reverse, come down to your left, swing to the right, coming up. And then take a lovely deep breath in here and we'll come forwards. Exhale. And either holding your elbows or just letting your hands dangle to the mat, whatever feels right. Just take some deep breaths here. Try and release your head and neck. Just give the head a shake. Because quite often, even in this pose, we'll still hold tension in the neck. And if you want to, you can just sort of roll from the front of your feet to the heels. Keep the hands on the mat. And just sort of rock backwards and forwards, noticing that lovely stretch that you get in the backs of the legs gently. And then coming to stillness, we'll heel toe the feet into centre. Roll up, just nice and gently stack the spine. And come onto your mat. Take Shavasana just for a breath or two. And feel how that little sequence has shifted anything through your body. Enjoy a long sigh. As you do that, release the tension around your lumbar spine. Allow your breath to just calm. Let's just take 3 yogic breaths here. So into belly, up into chest, up towards collarbone and head. Exhale. And again, belly, chest, head. Exhale. Once more. Very, very calming breath. Just 3 of those can just reset you back into a really lovely state mentally and physically. So let's bring these in. Another little gentle rock and roll. If you want to, lift your head as well. It feels good to stretch through the whole back here. And we'll come into reverse pigeon as we're in this position. So bring your right foot to the mat, so the knee is bent, and then bring your left foot to your right knee. And then if you can thread your hand through and clasp around your right thigh, just coming into this lovely stretch here. This is called reverse pigeon or thread the needle, it's known as. There's a few different names. But lovely for anyone who does have sciatica, as long as it's not in flare up. This is a lovely relieving pose for that. So we'll just take a few breaths here. See if you can relax. Notice where you're holding deep tension. And then we'll gently release and swap sides. right foot on your left knee. And then bringing that left leg away from the mat. Just clasp round the thighs. I always lift my head initially to come into the position and then just drop the head down. If this aggravates anybody, then please be very gentle or don't do it. And deep breaths. Tune into your right hip, the right buttock and outer thigh. And then gently, let's just release. Take Shavasana for a moment and just observe that chi, that prana moving around the pelvis and legs area. Just a few breaths. Perhaps you can feel the extension going down the legs. Anything that you notice in the toes and feet. Okay, bring the knees in. Hopefully no one has shoulder issues, but I'd like to do a pose that we do in yin. It's called open wing. It's a really lovely pose that we often forget how nice it feels after we've done it. So I'd like you to roll onto your belly, but what we're going to do is we're going to extend the right arm out and then gently roll towards that arm. So come onto belly first, arm is out to the side, sort of level with your shoulder. It's a little bit awkward getting into this pose. And just your legs in whatever position you feel comfortable to support your body. There's no right or wrong with which leg's bent. And just rest your head on the mat. You can bring your arm behind you if that creates more balance, or just have it in front of you supporting the body. Don't roll too deeply into the back of your shoulder, but just enjoy a stretch. It's called open wing, like arms are wings. Just breathe, notice what you're feeling. Notice if you're tense in your legs and around your buttocks as well. And just, if you can, relax. Just let go wherever you can. And then gently we will roll out of this pose. I'm just going to swivel to the other side, but you may not need to. And we're going to do the left arm. So left arm extends out. And then just rolling towards that arm, taking the right shoulder back. Try and relax the head and neck. You might hold a lot of tension in the neck. Relax the thighs, legs. Very stimulating for the meridians in your arms, which are the heart and the lungs, the yin ones, and the large and small intestine are the yang. And I always say in a yin class, only go to 70% of a stretch. Don't overdo it, but don't underdo it so that you don't feel anything. You want to feel a lovely, gentle sensation. And then gently roll now onto your belly, or coming up. Just come into a seated position for a moment, whatever that is for you, whether it's cross-legged or kneeling, whatever. Just feel the arms for a moment. Feel it round the tops of your shoulders. Just have a moment. Close the eyes. Perhaps you can feel a lovely sensation on the inner part of the arm at the top. Bicep area. Just taking a few moments to notice. So open the eyes, and then just a counter pose that will come into eagle arms. So bring your left arm in front, right one over the top.
Hopefully you can still hear me, the mic. And just give yourself a little hug as well while we're at it. But just a gentle stretch here. And then open up, lovely wide arms. And then just opposite side, left arm on top now. A nice little hug. If you haven't had a hug today, then you can always give yourself one. Okay, and then just release. Maybe roll the arms if that feels good. Come onto your cushions. I'd like to do a little breathing practice before we relax. So as we hopefully at some point move into warmer weather, there's a breathing practice called Shitali, which is cooling breath. Some of you know this. If you can't make a tube with your tongue like this, not everyone can genetically. You have to breathe through your teeth like this. And then you close your mouth and exhale. But if you can breathe through a tube made with your tongue, you breathe in, pop the tongue in, close the mouth, and exhale. So we'll just do a minute or so, just relax. I'm going to rest my hands in Dhyana Mudra, just get comfortable. Close the eyes and either teeth or tongue. Shitali breathing. Relax your shoulders. Just try to enjoy the practice for what it is. Notice that real coldness on your tongue and how far down your throat you might feel it. Allowing the length of your breath to really be long. Just one more. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to just lie down, get comfortable. Perhaps pop a blanket over you. Use cushions under the knees. Eye pillows, whatever feels right. So relaxing from head to toe. You know how this feels. Just to guide yourself from top through all joints and body parts, internally and externally, letting everything relax and release, all the way down to your little toe.
Just gently get accustomed to your breath. Nice flow of the ebb and flow in and out. And like a snow globe settles when it is still, your mind is starting to just quieten down. Be still and be the witness of the current thoughts. When you observe your thoughts, you are coming out of the unconscious and becoming very conscious to consciousness itself, pure awareness. And I'd like you to imagine that you're taking a nice country walk. And it might be a day like today that's just sort of sunny but comfortable, a gentle warmth that just lifts your spirit. You can't help but curl up the edges of your mouth to smile a little, and outside and inside. As you walk through this sort of country path, you see all the wild weeds and little flowers at the edges of your path, long grasses perhaps. And you see lots of insects and bees landing on various petals and flowers. Just being a bee in the moment. They're not worried about anything. Take a note to how your clothes feel against your skin and the smells you might notice, what you're hearing, the vibrancy of the colour, all of the 5 senses. And maybe also tuning into the 6th sense, intuition, being open to inspiration and guidance from what we can't see. As you walk on this little country path, you might find up ahead of you just a collection of trees that sort of merge into a small wood. And you head towards the woods, welcoming perhaps a lovely little bit of shade, but you're intrigued with all the colours and the different smells as you enter a wood. The ground beneath your feet changes. Perhaps it's slightly more crunchy. There are high trees, little trees, lots of foliage, and perhaps wildlife living amongst the trees that you notice scampering around. You notice the colours of all the different leaves and the veins as you really study them. Maybe there's bluebells low in the wood, really pretty sort of fields of bluebells. And as you walk through this wood a little deeper, you don't mind where you're going, it's completely safe. You might find that you notice a little deer just hiding behind a tree. You look at the deer and the deer looks at you, and there's some sort of unknowing understanding between the two of you, just that appreciation of each other and nature and the glory of everything. You have that feeling of just being in complete awe, very in tune with where you are. As you walk through the woods, there's a natural clearing where there's a big log that's fallen, a tree trunk,
an opening where the sunlight comes through, and maybe you just like to sit there for a while. Sit on this lovely tree trunk, feel its bark, the deep ridges. You may notice lots of little ants or a few little insects just minding their own business, walking along with you. Again, taking the smells, the feeling, the colours. And notice what you might want to do next. Whether you'd like to carry on walking through the woods, explore where it takes you, or whether you're quite happy sitting in this lovely clearing when the sunlight's coming through, either lying back on the log or leaning up against it. Just being in nature. Close your eyes and enjoy for a few more moments. Very gently now, you can just notice where your mind was just then.
And with no need to move just yet, just bringing your mind back to your body. Making connection with your breath. And again, reinforcing your intention perhaps that today is a good day and all is well. Certainly in this present moment, all is well. Gently just start to move now. Fingers, toes to start with. Maybe some deeper breaths. And as you move into some longer stretches or hugging the knees in. Roll the head, shoulders perhaps. And just thinking of something that you're grateful for. Take that with you, that lovely vibration of gratitude for the rest of the day as well. You can't feel bad when you're in gratitude. So when you're ready, just rolling up to seated. I invite you to join in with three repetitions of Om with me. It feels so good when you Om. You know, it's a lovely, almost like a reset to your system. So just rest, fingers to chin mudra. Close your eyes gently. Take a deep inhale. Just sit with that feeling for a moment. And then draw the hands together, rub the palms vigorously. If you can't already feel the heat, just it will come soon. And then warm palms over your eyes, gently blinking. Let the light through your fingers and down, hands to heart. Om Shanti. Namaste.